All right, what we're going to do right now is talk about how to do the blood typing portion of the murder mystery. So on your data sheet, what you have is a list of people who can possibly have left the blood at the scene. You have the evidence which says what type of blood you had. It could be anything from O positive, AB negative, so you can see that on your sheet. What you're given for the people is not what their blood type is. You're given the bottles that you can get to achieve their blood type. So there is a list that has a large, it says big bottle or large bottle, and they are numbered. So here, for example, is the size difference between the two bottles, and they are numbered. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick this up. But here we have the large bottle, and here we have the small bottle. Large bottles are going to indicate if the person has what type of letter they have for their blood. So you can indicate based on this if they're going to have A, B, AB, or O. The little bottles will correspond to the ability to identify if they have positive or negative blood. All right? So that's why each person has a big bottle number and a little bottle number, because you're going to have to grab that for each person. So say that that Frank had been assigned the large bottle for 18, that's what number is on here, and the small bottle 11. So what you do is either you're going to grab a microscope slide, or you can grab what's called a well plate. They have little divots in here that you can add little drops. So the other things that you need are going to be the anti-bottles. And these when it says anti-A, so this is a large bottle, it says anti-A. This will be identified for you, but this is anti-positive, and this is anti-B. The anti stands for antibodies. So if you are unaware of how blood typing works, you have to review your knowledge of what antibodies do and how they work. So what you are going to do is expose the different blood types to the different antibodies and see what happens. So all these are generally clear liquids inside the bottles. The only thing you need to know is that if there were a clot, and we talked about what causes clots in the last videos about blood typing, if a clot were to occur, then that would be signified by a change of color. So I'm not going to go through the results here. I'm just kind of going through the setup. But what you're going to do is you're going to see what combinations of antibodies and bottles that are numbered give you those clots. And from that information, you'll then decide, do they have positive or negative blood? Do they have A blood, B blood, AB, or O? So I'm not giving you the answers here, and I hope that's not what you're expecting. But to set up the problem, this is what you have to do. You have to grab these bottles, the prospective ones that you were assigned, and then you just have to know from your past knowledge on blood typing. So this bottle is going to indicate if you have positive or negative blood. So which antibodies would you need to indicate that? So you have the choice of 3. So if the two liquids mix together, all right, say that you took your little bottle and you mixed it with anti-positive. There's an opportunity that nothing happened. There's an opportunity that a clot happens. And a clot means that there's a change of color. So you would see something that potentially is bright yellow. That's going to be one of the example clots. And the other one is a bright white color. So you're going to see a noticeable change. That's why this one might be a little more difficult if you have a white change because of the background. That's why I often stick to the slide, because you can really see whether it changes yellow. Yellow is going to be easy to pick up on both. But if it changes to a white, you may not be able to pick it up so easily on these little well plates. Okay? So go through there, and it's a trial and error. You really have to see what's working. You don't go into this as much with an understanding until you really start mixing these bottles together and see what happens.